Alright guys, I wanted to make a quick lull video here for a couple very simple things that you're gonna either pick up along the way or you're never gonna learn. So making this for my friend, but I figured I'd just make a video recording of it because this game was a good example. So I'm playing Bard support, and basically we win this game, but we really only won it because people were playing properly. There wasn't any reason we would have won. Teemo wins this matchup, assuming he's not dog shit, but it doesn't really matter because Renekton can really affect the game more than a Teemo can, so it's kind of like a disadvantage for us in that lane. Diana kind of loses mid to Ahri depending on the skill matchup here, and Ahri is a little more useful than Diana, so we're at a disadvantage there as well. Yi is extremely good in solo queue, but it all comes down to how well that player is at playing the character, because if they're dog shit, then it doesn't matter. But like a good Yi can 1v5. It's really our only win con in this team is making sure Yi gets fed. Bard is super good because he's able to pressure lanes, but you'll see that I got counterpicked here by Caitlyn. The only way that you can pressure other lanes with Bard is if you can kind of harass your own lane and really push in, but Lulu Kate, we're never going to be able to outpush them, and I'm never going to be able to harass her effectively, especially with Lulu around. But she just outranges me in every trade, so it's really hard to sequence anything that's going to work. So I'm not going to be able to roam that much this game. So again, now we're at another disadvantage bot. So based on what I just explained, we should probably lose this game. I'm going to go through a couple things that change the game and just explain why, and maybe you can learn from it. One quick tip I have for people, right here you'll see we're level 1, I'm coming into Harass. This is a very simple concept, but I'm just going to go through it because of my friend. Anytime you're going to harass someone and you're ranged, it's always usually best, unless they have some kind of crazy CC, to open with an auto attack, and this way you can easily sequence your next move based on what they do to that auto attack. So you'll see here I'm going to auto, and so instead of fighting, she's running back, and because I chose to auto instead of Q, I now have the opportunity to follow up with a Q or move away or react to her entire play here. So if you're ranged and you're harassing and you can safely, always auto before you sequence any of your spells, because you're A, going to maximize your DPS this way by getting an auto in, and B, you're going to be able to you'll have a lot easier time deciding which direction your Q will go or whatever your skill shot is. And you'll see I miss it here, but if I would have just waited half a second and seen that she was moving left, I wouldn't have missed. Or actually, an even better play would have been to just Q the Kate here. As soon as I autoed, I could have Q'd and moved back, and that would have been fine. And Kate would have probably got stunned. But so that's a quick little thing. Our lane's not as bad as it looks because Senna can heal. So we actually have some staying power in this lane. You'll see Yi is invading red, so this is good. We didn't have any vision. As far as I know, Yi just made a guess here. I mean, you could probably tell if they were late to lane. But yeah, there we go. So here's an amazing decision by Yi that a lot of lesser players will make a mistake on here. So let's break this down. His goal right now is to deny Graves the XP early game from the red buff. And as you know, in the jungle, the buffs are huge XP, and if you lose one, it sets you back quite a bit. So his goal here is just to get the red. He's not here to get a kill. He's not here to do anything fancy. So the Graves, obviously wasn't warded. He was just coming to clear his buff, and let's see what happens. So Yi obviously is testing him out a bit. Q goes down. He realizes he's probably going to lose this fight, and he's in a bad situation because Renekton can help way before Teemo can, just based on the geography. And I mean, mid is Diana could probably get there at the same time, but likely not going to happen because he's not going to be able to run down. He's going to have to either run up. So what does he do? He flashes over the wall. The Graves probably could kill him here because Graves can chase him down, and a weaker player or players less experienced would have probably just fought this Graves and died, and then would have complained about top and mid not coming to help. But he reads the situation correctly. He's accomplished what he wanted. He got the red. He's flashing out. Now, of course, Graves could follow up with a flash here, but if Graves were to do that, he would be the one suddenly at a disadvantage because this area is really hard to get to from mid on red side and top side. So he's done two things here. He's secured the buff that he wanted to steal, and B, he's forced the Graves into a position where if he wants to follow up, he's now at the disadvantage compared to Master Yi. So again, Graves reads it right, and he goes back to farming. So that's a good little early game play. So as of right now, we have a slight advantage overall because our jungler is going to be probably hitting 6 before theirs. Looks like the blue is stolen. So that's interesting. Looks like Graves stole his blue while he was stealing his red. So that means they're probably on the same level now. You can see people are pinging, which is good if you're a new player. Learn how to ping, because it's the easiest way to communicate in this game, because there's no voice chat. You can see, like, I hit everything there, but because of Lulu's shield and because of Kate's range, I can't get that stun off very easily because I'm going to take 2 or 3 autos before she's close enough to that wall in order to get the stun here. So this is just more examples of why Caitlyn just like is a counter to Bard simply because of her range. I stepped on that trap by accident there, so that was bad. She probably didn't need to heal, so that was bad. But it's fine, because Caitlyn doesn't have heal, so that was a good one. She jumped back and stunned themselves, but again, we can't follow up because of Kate's range. And here's a big play. So at this point in time, we're kind of trading even here. Caitlyn still has her exhaust. Lulu has heal for some reason. I don't know why they switched it around. But we're around the same health. I have both my summoners up, so like if this TP didn't go down, they would be threatened here because a simple flash Q could end them. But what we see here is Renekton, who was running back the lane. First of all, his lane's pushed, so he knows it's an easy time for him to telly. There's no qualms about doing that. And he knows Teemo doesn't have telly. So his only advantage in lane for himself as a top laner here is to use his teleport strategically because Teemo took Ignite, which means likely Renekton's going to lose most fights that Teemo takes to pick. So this is actually a really good telly. You'll see that as soon as he lands, okay, he mechanically recognizes that he's the one who needs to start this fight because these guys don't have any way to stop us. So he's going to go for that double dash. And I'm going to miss my Q here. And there's the flash and the stun. And, you know, that's first blood. Easy first blood. Nothing really fancy mechanically that went on there, but this is, you know, just a player recognizing that he's looking bottom as he's running the lane and sees the opportunity. Both of her spells are down, my Q's down. Perfect time to come in. We're slightly out of position. Waves for him to pass through here. He flashes because she flashes. It's just like, and at this point I don't have my Q. I can't do anything. I don't level heal because you don't at level 3. And that's it. So no one really, like, so I want to just point out bottom here. Neither me or this player or the enemies here did anything to set this situation up. Okay? None of us really made any game-breaking mistakes that allowed this Renekton to do what he did. It was just extremely good timing on his part and just a really like mechanically solid play that he made. So there's nothing to complain about here. This isn't some kind of feed or int. This is just something that can happen because everything went according to plan. So mind you, that's first blood. We're at 4 minutes. So, I mean, this is only a gold game right now because I don't really play seriously anymore, but compare this to silver or flex or anything lower, there's usually going to be a lot more kills. So let's take a look at what happens here. So he's going to try to make his way top, obviously. Our jungler was aware of that. So he's positioned himself along his path so that he can, you know, in case mid got ganked here, Yi was ready to respond. Now let's see this play here from Yi. So it's early game. Likely people don't have wards down because they're using them in lane. The Yi saw the Graves here, and he knows Renekton has to go top because Teemo's pressuring the tower, which is the correct move to do after that teleport play. So what does Yi do? He takes the opportunity to go steal this blue buff. Because he saw Graves top. And this is probably going to go fine. Because he had so much information to make this decision worth it. And, oh, that's interesting. So let's just back up a bit here and let's see the vision. Let's see Red's Fog of War here. So here's Graves. There's a ward there. Okay, good. So he's going to his blue just to clear it. Interesting. Yeah, and he seemed to know he was there, so that's just a good call from the Graves, honestly. And at this point, because he had that level advantage I was talking about earlier, he was able to fight him and he had to back off. So, nothing wrong with that. Let's take a look at CS bottom lane here. They're pretty much even though we're at a disadvantage and she's died once. A good ADC will... It's very hard to get bullied out of lane if you're, you know, bad at ADC in terms of just pure CS. So always remember that. Like, if you just die, it's not game over. They have a 400 gold lead, that's it. So Dragon's up. It's coming up around 6-minute mark where junglers can actually do Dragon on their own. So it's getting... The game will, is going to start picking up now at this point. Because now it's all about Dragon control. So you see, they're kind of pushed up here. I'll point this out. We could have made a play. I could have wrapped around, poured it over this wall, and gone in. But if you looked at the map a second ago, we have no vision of their team. Like, obviously Renekton's top. We know his telly's still on cooldown. We don't see the mid. We have no vision in the lane here. I don't think I have the warding item yet, based on the gold. No, I don't yet. And so, you know, it's pretty easy to say, okay, let's get them. They're pushed up. But it's you know, it comes down to these little things. Like, we don't have vision. So there's no reason to go do it, because if there's a jungler here, or if mid roam bot, we're dead. So we don't take that risk. So that's the correct play to make in this situation. Because it's the safest one. Because there's nothing to gain anyways. Because, like I said earlier, it's hard for us to kill these guys. So now we see there's a roam coming bot. I believe I ping that there's a word here because there is one. Yeah, they're aware of it. And so you can see the Ahri went to follow. If you're paying attention on your mini-map, you would have noticed that. And Diana on her way back doesn't go through the river. Why? Because she saw that the Ahri peeked up. So Ahri could be right here. That's why she went around. Second that she sees Ahri bottom, ulting in, she's probably going to just push hard here. And Yi is going to rotate to here in order to back her up. And naturally, it's just going to happen because of the jungle pathing too. His red's almost up, and he needs to be near dragon at this point in the game. So, I don't know what happened here. She kind of just went in. But it ended up kind of working out for us. I make a mistake here. Again, that's just Kate's range. I forgot that, you know, Kate can just attack you from so far away. So look, she gets one, and then she gets the Q, and then she can easily follow up. That was just a mistake on my part. So she went in because she knew that Ahri was bottom and already ulted. So there's really no risk to going in on this guy. And she gets the ignite kill, and that's just good. So now that the jungler's dead, Yi knows that he can pressure dragon because we have the smite advantage, even though bot is not even bot. So he's just going to start it anyways. Caitlyn probably knows that they're on drag, but there's nothing she can do anyways because she doesn't have smite and she's on her own, and Yi could probably kill her. You can see Lulu coming up here to try to get some wards, and there's drag. So that's a huge play for us, and all that. The only reason any of that happened was their jungler took a risk mid to farm, and he got caught out of position by the mid player and killed with ignite. Which is something, you know, Ignite's cheesy, but that's what mids take because it's just an early advantage. And so we're going to pressure them here. But again, Yi didn't go in. Why didn't he go in? A different player might have just went in here. He could have easily alpha'd to Kate, but he turned around right away because he recognized that we're in a 2v2 against an ADC and a support. And our ADC was out of position to be able to help us. So he turns around. So now that the dragon is dead, the next objective that's up on the map is the Rift Herald. So Yi, at this point, either needs to make a decision to use his ult, which he just got, to either make a big play bottom, or help mid, or pressure Rift Herald. Let's just pop the Fog of War. We can see Graves is, you know, trying to invade. Finally, I get to roam a bit, check for some pink wards, create like some presence on the map. So we know the jungler's not in this area. We know there's no wards in that area. She's being very safe because she's aware that I'm not in the lane, so she's not putting herself in any kind of danger. Again, we're down 2 kills bottom lane, but you know, we're up in CS. I believe at this point I have my... No, I don't even have it yet. So, again, I should have it by now, but because it's Kate, I haven't been able to harass her effectively to get that gold. So I don't have my warding yet. So you can see the enemy team pressured Rift Herald. Let's back up a bit. See what happened here. Go through the events that took place. So there's nothing for you to do except pressure this. Teemo pings that there's some missing. Okay, he found a ward. Good use of the sweep. Now at this point in time, top is missing. So he could either be here. He could have either come down here. Or he's waiting to put another ward over the wall. So he's going to back up. He's not sure if someone's here, but they're probably not. So he waited a sec. Looked around at his map, put the pink down, and just decided to do it. At this point, I mean, who has the advantage here? Obviously Graves. He has double buffs, and he has the aggro from this guy, and he's already used some spells. You can see that Alpha Strike's on cooldown. So let's see what he does. Instead of staying on it or just immediately attacking the graves, he backs up and transfers the, he puts the play on Graves. So what's Graves going to do? Is he going to clear this pink? Is he going to start fighting the Rift Herald and start losing damage? We see the mid responding because there's been a lot of pings going down. We see the Teemo responding. And okay, their tops arrived. He's swept his way down. There's an early ult. The Ahri's there. So let's take a look at this level wise. Our players are slightly higher level. I mean, Ahri's only tiny bit behind. Renekton's quite a bit behind, almost the whole level. And looks like the Graves and the E are the same level exactly. So let's see what happens here. So number one, we don't have vision of this area. Let's see who has a warding trinket up. Nobody does. Teemo does, but he's currently in combat. If Teemo could have dropped a ward right there before engaging the Renekton, would have been very easy for our Diana to properly help, because they know the Ahri's around here waiting to throw off her snare. So that was good. They backed up. And Renekton makes the play on Diana. And okay. So again, nobody's focusing the Rift Herald here. This is why our team came out on top here. It's the same concept I said as before when Yi flashed over this wall. As soon as you put yourself in a new position where you're not the one with the threat of the objective, you kind of turn the tables. So making this decision here is probably what won us this entire fight. The Yi maintained his health and he backed up and he forced Graves to take aggro from this thing. And so that ult was a little odd. I mean, is his flash up? Yeah, his flash is up, so he's ready to go in here. Now he gets blinded, so he makes a good decision, turns around. Again, look how he's already lost 3 bars just from fighting this thing. Alright. Now they're definitely committed here. They either have to finish this off or choose a target. Diana's a bit too close. She's made herself the target. There's the flash Q from Renekton. Ahri's immediately going to react and try to full combo her, which she does. And instead of going for the objective, the Yi's going to peel. So the action right now is on Diana. So, I mean, Yi could have gone here, could have went for him, could have went for Ahri, but the correct decision is to get the guy who just used all of his spells, because he's likely the only one who can't respond. And I'm absolutely correct, because everything he has is on cooldown. So after Ahri's finished her combo, she's going to back up. Diana is just basically going to try to live and maybe get her ult off. We had an excellent ult from our bottom here, who was paying attention to the map, so everyone just got a big shield. That's probably what saved her life here. And she's able to get in, and does she get her ult off? No. But at this point, we have the advantage now, because our Yi's about to kill this guy. Okay, he's got full Conqueror stacks, and his ult just reset, and there's no pressure on Teemo now because Ahri's all of her spells are done, and Graves has been taking so much damage that he can't go and kill this Teemo now because he'll lose that trade. So he's committed now to kill this objective, which is going to be fruitless. And we again come out on top with the objective. So, the enemy team has decided to push hard, which is the correct thing to do because we knew everybody else on the map was already engaged in something else, and our ADC just used their ult. So, we're at a disadvantage bottom now. And again, I'm desperately trying to hit that gold threshold so that I can have wards. Finally get it there. Yi's made the decision to push, which is the correct decision here because everyone was dead. Decent stun there. Decent ult. It's just that Kate's doing too much damage for us to actually capitalize. Okay, recognize that the Yi went missing, so they backed up. Again, just good plays on their part. Good map awareness. I'm going to take this opportunity to do a little bit of roaming. Check for pink wards. Again, Teemo is just pressuring top, which is what every top should do. Killing the top tower for team gold is the best thing a top can do. Now I will comment, this game could have went different if the Graves focused on ganking bot. You can see that it took me like 10 minutes to get my warding trinket down because I just couldn't harass these guys. Graves could have easily come up in lane and snuck up into one of these bushes, and anytime we had a little trade skirmish, he could have easily turned it in their favor. And if Graves recognized that this lane, like, we're the most disadvantaged lane here, because Teemo can just survive fine. Diana is mid, so it's kind of hard for Ahri. She has to really commit the dive to kill her. So we come in. Use the flash, secure the kill. I check for a pink ward. I know I can play this far up because I know there's no objectives here, so Graves shouldn't be here. I saw the Ahri on the other side. Only reason I went there was to get chimes and check for pinks in the common spots. You see Ahri kind of wanted to go bottom, but she didn't. Yi's making his presence mid so that she doesn't just get on the tower. Everything about this game we won because of just really smart macro plays. So here we see Teemo gets caught. I'm on my way to help him. So let's take a look at what happened here. Because Teemo made the right play. You can see Renekton has teleport, and he was pinging that he's going to telly there. See? The action's all on Teemo right now on red. We take a look at Fog of War. Renekton's... oh, he was already just in that bush. So Teemo saw the Renekton behind him. His only play now is to try to just kill the guy in front of him and try to make it out alive. And that's exactly what he does. No wards here, so I don't think he saw me come in the bush. But Teemo's pretty low. Renekton can definitely get him. And the Ahri's mid now. Or the Ahri's roamed up. So let's see how this plays out. Reason I came here was to just assist the Teemo with what he was doing. I saw that ward go down. Teemo did too, but he was probably shopping, to be honest. And here comes Ahri. Now, if Teemo was paying attention, if you take a look, I moved from here to there in the time that it took Ahri to realize we were in this bush. You see the Ahri coming up. If he was just paying a little bit of attention, see, the ward goes down, 1, 2, plenty of time for him to move this way, especially with his speed move, which was just about to come up. So I tried to get the ult off, but it's just too late. And so here's the trick with Bard. This length of terrain here is like one of the longest in the game for your portal. So if you ever find yourself in this position and it's here on the other side, you can line up a portal. It's actually a little tedious because you have to aim it, so you can't just do a blind portal, but you can get this one off. You can see I dodged all her spells. That gives you enough distance that because of the speed portal that you get if it's your own portal, that I don't even have to stay around to stun him. I know I'm just out. So again, Yi saw that Ahri went top. He rift Herald mid. Amazing macro play here because he's now pressuring mid. Lulu came in to see what she could do, but there's nothing a Lulu can do. Next, Dragon's up. Finally, I have wards. I can get a sweeper. Now the play's on drag. Renekton doesn't have TP from that earlier move he did. So that was a bad macro play on Renekton's part. You can see the ADC here just farming and not taking any dumb chances. Respecting Caitlyn's power level and advantage. And now you're going to see just, you know, basic stuff. We have to try to get dragon control. We know there's a ward here. Diana's in. We get the one kill. Right here, we could have made the mistake to go through this portal and go in. Oftentimes what I do with portals is I just put them down. Even if I don't plan on using it, it'll still make them run back. So we got the one kill. We now have priority on the dragon. So everyone backed up, made the correct macro decision here. He's going to heal up, start dragon. We're going to pressure bottom so that he doesn't have any trouble with the drag. Diana's reaching a bit here to try to pressure them so that they can't do dragon. Renekton does come down. So that was a good play on Renekton. Teemo's response is hopefully to push here. This is also fine. This was unfortunate. But recognizing that everyone used their spells, the ADC was able to flash in and, you know, get the double kill. Now Renekton should be on drag here with oh no, Renekton went back top. Doesn't matter, that's their drag. Alright. So she was a bit out of position here. No one can really help her. Kind of a bad play since we knew that they were on dragon. At this point we can just muscle this fucking guy because he's just underleveled. Was a good flash from Lulu. Again, Yi playing cautiously. He could have run up and alphaed her, but you know, her ult could have been up. She could have had a heal. He's just wave clearing here. I'm checking for wards. So at this point in the game, dragons are tied. We're up a few kills because of some really good decisions, and we're up towers. So we have a massive advantage now with the macro game because we're able to move around the map a lot more freely because we got the mid tower down. And now that top's down, all eyes should be on the bot lane here from red team. They should really be trying to get our tower because it's their only tower left in the first tier. Now that I have some wards out, we can play a lot more aggressively. And so we're going to try to get these plays. Because Senna was playing cautiously the whole game and respecting Kate's lead as just an ADC difference in the characters. Managed to pick up some kills when it was safe to do so, and now we are actually stronger than them. So here I come up here. Now it's risky to portal in there because you don't have your portal to get out, but if you have flash up you can do it. So again, all our team is doing is pushing. So this is a clean kill. Oh, almost. That's a good portal. So when you take a short portal, you want to definitely wait around to queue them because they'll probably follow you. You're guaranteed to get the queue unless they're playing someone like Echo. Alright. So Yi shoved top to keep the pressure on. I'm going back bottom here. We should probably back, but we end up staying. Trying to heal up now. Our players respawning have a couple decisions to make. Obviously the decision should be to come bot. See Graves dive. Some damage gets traded. And we mechanically just win that. It's an interesting dive from Graves. We are low. She has her ult. Oh no, she doesn't have her ult. Oh. Kind of a bad dive. He flashes to get in range for some reason. I get my full combo off. He does take one tower shot. And I get healed, and then I think I auto him and he dies. Forces them to come in. If they would have stayed on the tower, this tower would be down to here in health. So this was a huge mistake on Red's part. The three of them could have just pressured the tower instead of diving. They would have killed that tower before anyone responded. So the Graves is just trash, really reaching and trying to just get a kill for no reason at all, as if killing me will put them any further ahead. Teemo's pressuring top with the second rift. We have a very nice kill there. I don't know why she didn't take the portal after attacking her one more time, but it didn't matter because he was there. So let's take a look at the difference in the dive from our position. So they just did a tower dive on us and it failed. Let's take a look at our tower dive. Obviously we're a little bit ahead in levels here, but you can see, okay, number one, ADC is focusing the tower. 3 hits on the tower goes off. So we're pressuring the tower, which means they're forced to make a decision. So their decision was to retreat. I go for the ult. Okay. Now at this point, Yi has a double kill regardless of what I do. But I get the stun off and I leave because I know I'm going to take a tower hit here. And I got out in time actually. And so she's now gotten off the tower to assist. Takes the aggro. And interesting, if you see right at the end there, look at this. So Yi's on the Lulu. He alphas. As soon as he gets off it, he goes for the tower. Very good play. Because the objective here is to kill the tower. They were just a bonus. So if you're a new player, always remember what you're actually trying to do and don't get like sidetracked into other nonsense. So that was an easy stun. He's dead. At this point, the map is ours. We're just playing tighter as a team because of our macro play being... Everyone on this team is playing the same macro game. So this is sometimes in LoL you'll get like a really easy game and it's because it seems like everyone's just on the same wavelength. And that's when your entire team just collectively, for whatever reasons, decides to play the same type of games. You can play these macro games where you're focused on pushing and being cautious. Or you can play really aggressive games where, you know, you're just always playing with a numbers advantage because everyone's roaming and you're able to just do crazy nonsense and just get a ton of kills. This time it happens to be the former. So Teemo dies, but it doesn't matter because this tower is like almost dead. Mid tower is almost dead. Like they're basically, you know, they forfeit soon because of it, but they've lost so much of the map now. It's going to be extremely hard for this team to get any kind of footing in the mid game now. And we're almost at end game. So like they have no chance of pressuring drag because they don't have any towers. All of their wave positionings are always pushed in. They have to spend more time in lane clearing waves because they don't have those towers. We're able to now push up. You know, like, they're not going to be able to have any kind of warding because we know exactly where they are. They can't be anywhere other than the circle right now. They don't have an assassin on their team who can really come in and kill us. No one can go pick off Teemo because of, you know, the fact that he is Teemo. Our Yi is fed. They make a play here. Okay, let's see. Because this was the game deciding play. They forfeited after this, so. Drag goes down. So this was really their only chance. Okay. They've got 4 mid. We have 3. We're doing a 1-3-1 push. That's what this is commonly known as. Send 1 top, 1 bottom, and 3 mid. And you just pressure them from all sides and force them into a fight. So we're outnumbered here. We should probably lose this fight. Let's see what happens. So Renekton ults. Again, he makes another great flash play to get that stun. I follow up with my ult. Now it's a 3v3. Get the stun. Lulu's ulting the correct target, I think. Yep, Ahri, because she's the action. Ahri gets just mowed down before she can even live. Caitlyn comes in. And that's it. Graves was not able to kill the Yi, but Yi kept his attention. And so the benefits of a 1-3-1 is that you can see that regardless of what happened mid, the time it took for that entire play to go down, Teemo was going to get this tower no matter what. So you force them into making a decision that is a lose-lose for them. Even if they aced us to kill this here, we would have still gotten top tower and probably half the inhibitor. And that's just a macro play. And this is something that nobody pinged it. No one said, well, 1-3-1 or anything like that. But it just happened because people just realized that, you know, this is the right thing to do. So Graves, for some reason, chases Yi all the way to here. I think at this point they're just done. Yeah, there's the forfeit. So again, this is a game where we had no business winning this. Our team was worse off in every sense of the word. They had a teleport, so they could have more pressure on objectives. We had, you know, a losing bot lane, so their ADC could have got considerably fed if the jungler and their mid were aware of that and helped bot out more. Mid was at a disadvantage because Diana is melee and Ahri's range, so it's just not hard at all for Ahri to just harass and win that lane. And Yi is a super polarizing character that requires you to be fed or you do nothing. There's no in between. But because of macro, we won this game. And it wasn't anything fancy, and it wasn't anything cool. It was just people making cautious, correct decisions at the right time. And nothing that went on in this game required any kind of talking or communication. It was just, this is the way you're supposed to play, and everyone was on board with just a macro game. And that's all I wanted to say.